All right, let's kick off another deep dive. And today we are diving into the world of AI.
Oh, exciting.
It is exciting. It's moving so fast.
It really
There's
is.
so much happening. And we're looking specifically at a new player called DeepSeek. You actually sent me a fascinating article
Yeah.
from The Motley Fool,
Oh, yeah.
and it was published recently, February 16th, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about this Chinese company, DeepSeek, that has really kind of come out of nowhere
Yeah, really interesting story.
to build an AI chatbot that's rivaling ChatGPT.
Yeah, they're going head to head.
And get this, they did it on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, that's what caught my eye.
So the question is DeepSeek the real deal, or is this just a bunch of hype?
Well, I think that's what we're going to try to figure out.
Yeah, let's jump in. The thing that really stood out to me, and I think this was the case for you too,
Yeah.
was that DeepSeek built this chatbot for just $6 million.
Yeah, that number is just wild when you think about it.
It's nothing.
Especially compared to what the big players are spending. Google, Microsoft, they're pouring billions into AI.
Right? And it just makes you wonder, like, are they overspending? If DeepSeek can do this with $6 million, what are these?
Exactly, yeah. What are these massive budgets actually accomplishing?
I mean, the article mentioned that Alphabet, which is, of course, Google's parent company,
Right.
has a capital expenditure budget of $75 billion
Wow.
for 2025.
That is a lot of money.
And a lot of that is going towards AI.
It makes sense, though. AI is the future.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a huge jump from what they were spending in 2024.
I wonder what they're spending all that money on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, are they just throwing money at the problem?
Maybe, maybe not. But DeepSeek's success is definitely putting pressure on them to actually show some results.
Yeah.
Investors are going to want to see tangible benefits, not just some fancy new chatbot.
Right. They're going to want to see improvements to Google search.
Exactly. Or YouTube, or something that people actually use and can see the difference.
Yeah, they need to see that their money is actually leading to something useful,
Definitely.
I mean, even Demis Hassabis, the CEO of Google DeepMind,
Mm-hmm.
he was impressed by DeepSeek's model.
Yeah, he said it was really interesting.
But he doesn't see it as like a groundbreaking scientific advancement.
I think that's an important point. It's not necessarily about revolutionizing the technology. It's more about DeepSeek exposing a vulnerability in the industry, showing that you don't need to spend billions to be competitive in this space.
Right, like they've kind of shaken things up a bit.
Exactly.
Forced the big players to kind of look in the mirror and say, hey, are we doing this the right way?
Mm-hmm. And here's where it gets even more interesting. DeepSeek has made their chatbot model open source.
Really? Open source?
Yeah.
So they're just giving away their technology?
Well, sort of.
I don't get it.
It's a bold move, for sure, and we'll talk about exactly what that means after a quick break.
So they're just giving away their technology?
Well, not exactly giving it away, but they're making it open source so anyone can use it, modify it, distribute it.
I mean, why would they do that? What's the catch?
Well, there might not be a catch. It could be a really smart strategy, actually.
Okay, I'm
By
listening.
making it open source, they're inviting others to contribute to the development.
So like a community effort.
Exactly. Smaller tech companies, startups, even individual developers can get involved.
I mean, that's amazing because they're democratizing AI.
It is. It's breaking down the barriers of entry to this field that have been so high for so long.
But if they're not charging for it, how do they make money? What's their business model?
That's a good question, and the article doesn't really go into detail, but it seems like they're betting on a different approach, maybe focusing on building a community around their platform.
So like maybe they'll offer consulting services or support to businesses that use their model?
Possibly, or they could even offer premium features on top of the basic open source version.
So it's more about collaboration and fostering innovation rather than just pure profit?
Yeah, it's a different way of thinking about it, that's for sure.
But hold on, the article also mentioned something about government bans.
Oh, right, yeah, that's a big hurdle they have to overcome.
It said DeepSeek's chatbot is facing bans around the world.
Yeah, due to privacy concerns?
Privacy concern.
Governments are getting more and more wary of AI, especially when it comes to data privacy.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, AI chatbots, they collect a lot of personal information, right?
Absolutely. They needed to train their models and improve their responses.
But that raises a lot of questions about data security and how that information is used.
Exactly. And who's responsible if something goes wrong?
Right. So even if DeepSeek's technology is impressive, these bans could really hold them back.
Yeah, it's a major challenge for them, no doubt about it.
I mean, it sounds like they have a lot to figure out, not just with the technology itself,
Yeah.
but also with navigating all these ethical and legal issues surrounding AI.
It's a classic case of innovation moving faster than regulation.
Yeah. It definitely seems that way.
But it's a conversation we need to have, and quickly, because AI is only going to become more powerful and more pervasive.
So true. But okay, I'm still a bit fuzzy on the specific privacy concerns. What exactly are people worried about?
Well, the article doesn't really dive into specifics.
Oh, okay.
But it's likely related to how DeepSeek's chatbot handles user data, like how it's collected, stored, and used.
And whether users have given informed consent, I imagine?
Precisely. And there are also concerns about potential misuse of that data, for things like targeted advertising or even surveillance.
Right, it's a slippery slope.
It is, and it's something that needs careful consideration as AI continues to develop.
So it seems like DeepSeek, even though they've made this impressive technology,
Yeah.
they still have a long road ahead of them.
Absolutely. They've got to address these privacy concerns, build trust with regulators and users,
Yeah.
and figure out how to navigate this really complex and ever-changing legal landscape of AI.
It's a lot, especially for a small company going up against giants like Google and Microsoft.
It's a David and Goliath situation for sure, but sometimes those are the most interesting stories.
Totally. So what does all this mean for our listeners? Why should they care about this little company called DeepSeek?
Well, I think DeepSeek's story is a microcosm of what's happening in AI right now.
Okay.
It shows just how fast things are moving, how accessible AI technology is becoming.
Right. It's not just for the big players anymore.
Exactly. And it highlights the potential for disruption, unexpected players coming out of nowhere and shaking things up.
So it's a reminder to never underestimate the little guy.
Absolutely. And it also underscores the importance of thinking about the ethical and regulatory implications of AI.
Right, because it's not just about the cool technology, it's about how it impacts society.
Exactly. And those conversations need to be happening now, not later.
Very true. So it's like a glimpse into the future of AI where innovation isn't limited to the tech giants.
Mm-hmm.
And where responsible development is just as important as technical progress.
Couldn't said it better myself.
So what's next for DeepSeek? Can they actually overcome these government bans?
That's the million-dollar question.
And fulfill their potential as this open source powerhouse?
Time will tell, but it'll depend on a few things.
Like what?
Well, first and foremost, they need to address those privacy concerns head on.
Yeah, that's got to be priority number one.
Absolutely. They need to build trust with regulators and users.
Right.
And they need to find a way to navigate this constantly evolving legal landscape surrounding AI.
Which is no easy feat.
Not at all. And of course, they're still facing competition from the big players.
Yeah, Google, Microsoft, they're not going down without a fight.
They've got the resources, the experience, and the name recognition.
So DeepSeek's got their work cut out for them.
They do, but it'll be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
I agree. So let's shift gears a bit and talk about the bigger picture here. The potential impact of DeepSeek's open source model on the future of AI development.
That's a great topic, and I think it's where things get really interesting.
Yeah, could this be the start of like a whole new era of AI where it's not just controlled by these massive corporations?
I think it has the potential, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be amazing to see smaller players like startups and universities really get in on the action.
Definitely, and imagine the kind of innovation that could come from that.
Oh, absolutely. More diverse perspectives, new approaches. It could be a game changer.
It could really shake things up, challenge the way we think about AI development.
But let's be real. Can these smaller players really compete with the big guys? I mean, Google, Microsoft, they've got so much money, so much expertise.
Well, it's true. They have a lot of advantages.
Yeah.
But DeepSeek's open source model, it kind of levels the playing field a bit.
Okay, how so?
Well, it gives them a foundation to build upon. They don't have to start from scratch.
Oh, I see. So it's like giving them a head start.
Exactly, and that allows them to focus on specific applications or niches rather than trying to do everything.
It makes sense, but I'm also thinking, are there any risks to this whole open source thing?
Oh, for sure. There are always risks.
Like what? What are we talking about here?
Well, one concern is that these open source models could be used for malicious purposes.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a scary thought.
Someone could take DeepSeek's chatbot technology and modify it to spread misinformation or do other harmful stuff.
So it's like, how do we encourage innovation and collaboration, but also prevent these kinds of bad actors from exploiting the technology?
That's the million-dollar question, and honestly, there's no easy answer.
Yeah.
It's going to require a lot of careful thought and collaboration between governments, industry leaders, researchers, and the public.
Right. We need to figure out how to promote responsible AI development, but also not stifle creativity.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance.
It is. It's a really important conversation to be having right now.
Absolutely, because AI is evolving so quickly, we need to stay ahead of the curve.
Well, it's been a fascinating deep dive into the world of AI.
It really has.
We've explored DeepSeek's approach, their impact, the ethical questions, the future of AI development.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
We did. So as we wrap things up, what are some key takeaways you'd like our listeners to walk away with today?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the AI landscape is changing faster than ever.
Hmm,
New players are emerging, challenging the status quo, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
right. And DeepSeek is a perfect example of that.
Exactly, and this is just the beginning. AI is going to continue to evolve at an incredible pace.
So buckle up, everyone. It's going to be a wild ride.
It is, and it's important to stay informed, stay engaged, and be a part of the conversation.
Because the future of AI is in our hands. It's up to all of us to shape it responsibly.
I couldn't agree more.
Well said. And on that note, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.